Thank you so much for joining me today. This is a process video of pictures of my husband who was doing an extreme ride at the fair. He's always doing these extreme rides, and I wanted to showcase this this part of his personality. So I've already pre-cut a couple of the photos there. You can see there were vertical 4x6s. I'm actually using the PhotoPlay Paprika collection. I just love that collection. It's got honestly, it had these llamas and that sort of thing. And then the colors are just beautiful. So you'll notice I've chosen a green kind of tone on tone um, that I'm using as basically a shelf here for those three photos. I have laid it on top of this kind of cool, there's kind of circly pieces that go up and down. I guess you could technically make them go horizontal, but um, they go up and down. I do trim them, trim that piece of paper to fit on the 12 by 12. I guess the color might be called paprika. And I'm basically a half inch, or technically a quarter inch, sorry, I trimmed a half inch off. Then I lay the green. Uh, Actually, I've realized now I'm laying it down, the bubbly parts are going horizontal and then the green arrowy parts going up and down. I do change that because I want them all going up and down. Then I created a little mini shelf with or stripe there with the striped paper. It's kind of incorporating all the various colors of the collection there. Honestly, love this collection. And then I decide I want to mount the photographs on yellow paper. I think that's going to make them really pop. And plus, the little arms of the ride are yellow, and I think that's really pretty. So my husband is one of those crazy adrenaline freaks, and I say that because I'm not one. I'm certain if you are one, it's not crazy or whatever at all. Anyway, he loves to do anything that's high up in the air or really fast or anything that'll make your adrenaline just start to go and your heart to pump. I guess it makes him feel alive, I think is what he said. So I'm doing the other photos here. I'm matting those in the yellow. I actually am going to mount, I believe I mount that middle picture on one more um, colored paper here. I want it to really stand out. I thought it was really cute. He was standing in line, and I also captured on the photograph the height of the how up in the air he is. I think it was like 137 feet or something like that. Which, if you know anything about buildings, you can estimate about 10 feet per floor. So essentially a 13-story building. I do gut this paper. I don't have a ton of it left, and I love this color. So I do gut the middle of it because I'm going to lay the other um, dotted, I guess, I don't know what to sure to call it. It looks like a stripe, but it's like circles. And I do lay it on the top so I can gut the middle out and use that as a mat for something else. So now you'll see I'm going to lay that back on there. And then, yes, I decide that middle photo I want to mat on that same paper just to really make it stand out. So anyway, my husband is, I hate to even say this because he doesn't want anybody to know how old he is, but let me put it to you this way. He has reached a major milestone. Um, and I mean, way over the hilltop milestone, and you would never know it. Nobody ever would know his age. He is so active and just fit and just loves to do kind of scary things in my mind. Nobody ever guesses his age, which is kind of funny because me and my, if we go out with my daughter, everybody believes I'm her mother. Like there's no trouble that they believe I'm her mother. I don't know if I just look it or act it. I'm not certain, but they definitely know I'm her mother. But they can never believe that he's her dad. You know, he's just so young, and I'm not sure how I feel about that. I mean, don't get me wrong, I get the benefit of looking at him all the time, but still. Anyway, you can see I'm kind of struggling aligning it up on this thin mat here. Seems like I never can line those things up straight. And I've decided, okay, this is how I want them to lay, and it's time for me to start gluing things down. So I use my ATG gun, and I always do, I shouldn't say always, that's a bit of a lie. I try to always do the like one side first and align it up because the worst thing is when you put it on there on these little thin mats and it's crooked and it looks terrible and you get frustrated, you try to pull it off and you tear your pretty paper. So anyway, I do one side and then I come in and I do the other three sides with my little ATG gun there. And it is time now to put my shelves down. So I am lining those up. And I've decided, you know what, I'm going to distress these things. I just want to go ahead and, in my mind, I'm thinking, he's crazy. This is kind of, I don't know. I'm just thinking I'm going to distress him. It's kind of wild and gives a bit of motion and scary, I don't know, to this thing. So I'm adding some distress with my little Tim Holtz distressor here. And I do that to both pieces of paper. And this little tool's kind of neat. It does leave little pieces of paper everywhere that have to end up blowing off eventually, but um, it's got a little razor blade kind of in the, I hate to use the word laser blade, but there's a little blade in the middle of it, and then there's all these little slots that you stick your paper in, and you can run your paper through it, and it helps distress it. I've seen people use scissors. I mean, technically, you could use your fingernail if you really want to get low tech on there, but I've had this little tool for a really long time, and I like it. Okay, so now I'm going to attach my papers with my ATG gun, my layers here. I do put that toward the bottom of the green shelf. You see me wiping those little paper slivers off of there. The back side of that is kind of hippy dippy patterns to me. I never did figure out how I might want to use those. I tended to use that green side on this collection. And I'm arranging these photographs. I want them to be a little bit wonky because I feel like it's an action, kind of story here. So I make these a little bit cockeyed, wonky, and then I decide for sure I want to put some foam tape in the middle of that. Actually, I put them on all because I realize as I'm putting them down, those distressed edges are creating a bit of a bumpy feeling under them. I didn't really care for that, so I decided to put foam tape on all the pictures to pull them up above the little edge that's curled up there. It's a little hard to see in the film, I think, but it does create some dimension underneath there. And then, of course, I want to put the foam. Uh, the blue foam there is that stuff I guess people call it fun foam. Mine is not or not adhesive on one side. Mine's just plain because I'm cheap. I bought the cheap kind. I use that because it's a tad thicker than the foam tape I was using. And now I'm going to pull off the little pieces of the foam tape. I've created basically a photo block here, even though it's not technically square, but here's my handy dandy tweezers I got at the gun show some time back. I use those because my fingernails are too thick. All right, so now I've got those laid down and I'm looking for something. I think I'm going to use a cut apart. It was what I had in my head originally. Um, yeah, I found this Dream Big. Um, again, he's kind of always out there, doing the big stuff. He's just such a big personality and wants to do things that are scary and big in my mind. So I thought this cut apart worked really well. I've got my stickers in RTS has this sticker notebook idea that she's done where you put the wax paper in the little composite notebook and you stick your stickers on it. I thought that worked really well. I had some extra composite notebooks laying around from when my daughter was in school. So I used that and created my own little notebook. I'll probably expand on that. Looking for stickers. And now I'm also looking for a title. And I've decided I want to name the title You Are Fearless, or name the page You Are Fearless, because he just really is. He will do just about anything. So I'm deciding what font do I want to use. And I know I want it to be kind of bold, the word fearless. So I've decided, or I'm looking through these, I have a whole little set of sticker fonts stuck in a box, and I'm kind of poking around here, and I think this is the one I settle on, which is actually the collection is Creative Agenda. It's not from this Paprika collection. Because I think the Paprika font was a little swirly one, and I didn't really want to go that route. I wanted this to be a little more bold. Um, I want to say that Creative Agenda might be Echo Park. I'm not certain. It's almost like it's supposed to be for planners in a way, but I like it. It's got some pretty colors. To be honest with you, I do not know what I'm doing off camera here other than looking for stickers. So apologies for keeping that film in here because it's a bit boring. But I'm looking through all my fonts. Oh, what can I use? What can I use? Seriously, why am I off camera? Sorry about that, guys. I'm still new at this. I meant to edit this out. It's pretty boring. Maybe not. Maybe I don't decide on that font. I honestly don't remember, and I'm not where I can look at it. You see me get frustrated. My hands are like, ah, I don't have all the right letters. Anyway, I'm kind of curious if any of you, I don't have too many subscribers just yet, but do you ride those scary rides? I mean, honestly, for me, I don't mind swirly ones, the ones that kind of go in circles, that's fine. But those ones that go up in the air, I am not, I'm scared of heights. And I do not want to do those types of rides. My poor husband, he's always looking for somebody to ride with him, and inevitably nobody will. Maybe once in a while. Oh, good. I did stick to that font. I was a little bit nervous. I had laid that down there and told you that, and then it wasn't true, but it is true. So I'm spelling fearless here. Again, I've got my handy dandy tweezers because I can't seem to ever use my own fingers. That bracelet right there is from my mom was in the hospital. I mentioned in my last video that I was sick and she'd given me the germs and when she was in the hospital. So I'd recorded this the day after, or I guess the day we went and visited her at the hospital, and they had us wear these bracelets, which that was the first time I'd ever done that. Um, so okay, that was interesting. All right, so I got this orange sticker font here, which came off of it was mini letters, I think. And I apologize, I don't remember the maker of the stickers, but it was a whole sheet of letters. You'll notice there are a bunch of different colors, and this color went really well. It's an orange. And again, the title is You Are Fearless. I'm hopeful someday, whenever he's doddering and old, we can look back on this and laugh. And he doesn't get upset with me for talking about how old he is here. All right, so I've decided that that's my title. Gotta rub it down a little bit, stickers. Um, Thinking, okay, I'm gonna put this little guy here. I like how that looks. Takes up the space. And now I'm looking at those stickers again. I got to figure out what little embellishments do I want to use. And it did have a bunch of stickers. Again, I've used all of the like llamas and different things like that. But I find this yay, which I think is kind of fun because he's, basically flying up in the air. And then the feathers, honestly, I picked them because I thought they were cute and the colors and, I had bunches of them. But at the same time, he is flying through the air. So um, could represent flying, right? I'm sticking those in there again. I'm making these little clusters across the border here. And again, picking little stickers off of here, leaves, that sort of thing, trying auditioning, all kinds of things. And when you're stuck on something and you're not really sure, you always go back to the thing you are sure about. So I thought, oh, let me move that yay around a little bit and go back to more stickers. And I decided I like those little leaves. No real reason except the colors match and it goes with the collection. Get some more feathers, thankfully. Again, these flying through the air, right? That thing spun around in a giant circle. It was funny, the guy that he was riding with was not somebody he knew, just happened to be with him in line. And I'm actually a little bit annoyed thinking back on it because he had to pay like a one person ride fee. It was a little more expensive. It was just one person. And then they stuck him with another guy that had paid a person ride fee. So they actually made money more so than they should have if he had just coordinated with the guy. But anyway, the guy, you could see during the ride, my husband's going, wee, and he's kicking his legs and he's spinning him around. And the guy next to him is just holding on for dear life and he does not look too happy. I got a kick out of it. That little banner sticker there says "You are awesome." I decided I want to pop that up on some foam dots after I put the little bit of, not foam dots, rather foam tape. I put a little bit of foam tape under the ends of the feathers there to make them have some dimension. And then I decided I want to pop up the "You are awesome." And then I decided, hey, guess what? I'm going to pop up these leaves too. There's nothing wrong with a little popping up of elements giving you some dimension. And there I am trying to use those goopy scissors. I need to clean those guys. They need some alcohol. And picking off the little backs there. Yeah, that's always so fun, isn't it? All right, sticking my little leaves down. And of course, I got to do another one just for the fun of it. Put that on there. And another one so we can stick him on top of the other feather. All right, that looks awesome, right? Okay, I got to pick up my trash. And now I'm looking, I had decided that, I don't know what made me think this, to be honest with you, but I was like, oh, I have some buttons. I know I've got buttons in here that might match this stuff. And I have a big old basket of buttons. So you can't see it. I'm off screen a little bit here, but I'm going through this basket of buttons trying to find stuff that matches. I got a couple of different colors and the yellows and the aquas and the oranges. And I'm I'm arranging and I'm rearranging. I'm finding other colors. I'm kind of using these as instead of enamel dots, those are kind of on trend, right? And I had some bigger ones, which I kind of liked. So I laid those down. I'm going to actually move those things around all over the place on that lower right corner there. And I think I cut that footage, thankfully, because I think it took me 5 minutes to figure out where I want to put these darn buttons. I mean, Christina, it's not that complicated, right? They're just buttons. But I put them and I moved them and I put them and I moved them and I put them and I moved them. I'm watching myself now and I'm like, this is not that complicated. Anyway, I finally decide on the color of the buttons and the location, I think. Well, I moved them again on the roller right down there. I think this is where they end up. I do, I think now I actually use, I can't remember if I use the glossy accents to glue them down. I want to say yes. I don't know what I'm doing right now. Probably putting those buttons away. I'm one of those people that I do tend to clean while I'm doing the project because I lose stuff. Like it's on my desk and then I can't find it and I don't know what I'm doing. And honestly, I have no idea what I was doing right there. I may be showing you the collection name. Who knows? Oh no, I know what I was doing. I had gotten I think the red glimmer mist stuff I wanted to use um, to create some splatters. And I was seeing if the colors were right. I think that's what I was doing. Yeah, here's where I'm using the glossy accents to glue all these buttons down. I used to use the little mini glue dots, but for whatever reason, I think this one was within arm's reach, and I decided I want to use the glossy accents. And I use my fancy tweezers again. I love those things. I use them every single layout because I can't ever control my fingers. Even still, I have trouble controlling things. Oh, sometimes I watch how clumsy I am, and it's just embarrassing. Okay, so now I think this is where I said, hey, I'm going to do some of this. Well, actually, I got to go ahead and finish gluing stuff down. I think this is where I decide I'm going to put some of this red glimmer mist on here. And y'all, it's pretty. I mean, I like red, and it went with the the layout. But after I got done doing this, I was like, this looks like blood. Like he squirted blood everywhere. So I ended up putting turquoise or like a teal color and kind of dabbing that all around to maybe tone down the blood look of the other because in my head I'm going, he's on this ride and he's fearless and all this stuff, and then it looks like he's splattered blood everywhere. So I didn't want that message. Anyway, so I did all that, and then I've decided, okay, you're done. Don't stick anything else on this. You're going to end up putting something on here that makes a huge hot mess. Anyways, I think that's all I do to this layout, guys. Kind of fun colors and a little bit of splatter. I did have to go back in here with a baby wipe and clean up. Oh, I did. I had the date. Okay, so I have this date stamp. And if you remember in the beginning, I had foam taped those pictures, right? And I thought, oh, I can make this work. I can make this work. Yeah, you can't put that stamp down all the way down when you get a foam tape in the way. So I stamped it 3 times. It looks kind of like it's on purpose, I guess. Anyway, that's the last of it. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it as I grow.